You're listening to Speak English with Chat.
On Chat English. Welcome back to Chat English, where we help you speak the way people actually talk. Today, we are going to build an automatic conversation reflex so your mind never goes blank again. Picture this. It is Friday at 5 past 5. You step into the office elevator, the doors close, a coworker turns to you and asks, "So, any big plans for the weekend?" Your heart drops, your vocabulary vanishes, and you just freeze in total deer-in-headlights panic.
I used to dread Fridays just because of this exact question. I would literally panic, sweat through my shirt, and just blurt out the word sleeping to escape, and then feel so embarrassed the whole way home.
By the end of this episode, you will have the complete 3-part echo, answer, flip framework, and we are going to practice it out loud right now. That feeling of freezing in the elevator, or in the hallway, or at the coffee shop is something every single English learner goes through. You are definitely not alone in this.
Exactly. It feels like your brain just suddenly deletes the entire English language. You know you have studied for years, you know all the grammar rules, you know thousands of words, but in that one tiny moment when someone asks you a casual question, it all just disappears into thin air.
And the worst part is the guilt that comes right after it. You walk away from that conversation thinking, why did I just say that? Why could I not just form a simple sentence? My English is so bad.
Wow, I have been stuck for way too long believing that exact lie. I used to think my English was just broken. I would go home and study more vocabulary, thinking that if I just memorized more words, I would not freeze next time. But that is the biggest myth out there.
It really is. Freezing has absolutely nothing to do with your English level. It is a biological reflex. When someone catches you off guard with an open-ended question, your brain panics. It goes into fight or flight mode. You are not failing at English. Your nervous system is just overwhelmed.
That makes so much sense because when you're sitting in a quiet room taking an English test, you have time to think. You can plan your sentence. But in the elevator, the silence is so heavy. You feel this intense pressure to reply immediately, within 1 second, or else you think you're going to look stupid.
Exactly. And even native speakers freeze. If someone walks up to me right now and suddenly asks, "Hey, Alice, what are your overarching life goals for the next 5 years?" I am going to freeze. I'm going to say, because I do not have a script ready for that.
Right, we expect ourselves to be these perfect instant translation machines. We hear the question in English, we think of our weekend plans and our native language, then we try to translate those plans into English while also searching for the correct verb tense and checking our pronunciation, all while the elevator goes down 3 floors. It's impossible.
It is way too much pressure, and because we put so much pressure on ourselves to be grammatically perfect, we fall into what we call the textbook trap.
The textbook trap. I know exactly what you were talking about. This is when you try to answer a casual conversation with a perfectly structured, robotic sentence.
Yes, so your coworker says, "Any big plans for the weekend?" And because you are panicking, your brain reaches for the very first lesson you ever learned in English class, and you say, "I am going to the supermarket on Saturday, and then I will clean my house on Sunday."
I have definitely done that. And the coworker just looks at you, nods slowly, and says, "Oh, okay, cool." And the conversation just completely dies. It just hits a brick wall.
Exactly. It kills the momentum completely. And the reason it kills the conversation is because you're giving an information dump. You're giving an itinerary. Small talk is not about transferring data. It's not a report for your manager. Small talk is just a way to connect, to share a little bit of humanity, and to show that you are friendly.
That is such a liberating feeling. It takes a huge burden off my shoulders just hearing you say that. We do not need to give a perfectly grammatical schedule of our entire weekend. We just need to give a feeling. We just need to share a state of being.
Exactly. Natural English speakers almost never answer with a full, perfectly structured schedule. It actually sounds a little bit defensive. It sounds like a police officer asked you where you will be on the night of the 15th. It's too rigid.
So if we're not supposed to give our exact schedule and we want to avoid freezing entirely, how do we actually handle this? How do we survive the elevator ride?
That's where the echo answer flip framework comes in. This is a 3-part safety script. It's an automatic reflex that you can copy and paste into your daily life. It takes all the thinking out of the equation. You don't have to translate anything. You just run the script.
I love this, a safety script. So when the panic hits, you don't have to search your brain for vocabulary, you just lean on the framework. Break it down for us, Alice. What is the very first step?
Step 1 is the echo. The echo is how you buy yourself time without making it awkward. When someone asks you, any big plans for the weekend? The very first thing you do is gently echo the subject back to them. You just say, the weekend? Or, oh, this weekend?
The weekend? Oh, I see what you were doing. You were literally just repeating the topic, but with a slight question tone at the end. The pitch of your voice goes up just a tiny bit. The weekend?
Exactly. You are bouncing the ball right on the spot. Now, why do we do this? We do this because it takes zero mental energy to repeat the word they just said. But culturally, in English, it signals to the other person, I heard you, I am engaged, but my brain is just taking a second to load the answer.
Wow, that is brilliant, because the alternative is just standing there with your mouth open saying, for 3 seconds, which feels like a million years when you're in an elevator. The echo fills the dead air beautifully.
It fills the silence with a natural sound. You can say, this weekend? Or you can say, man, is it Friday already? Or simply, the weekend. Any of those work perfectly. It gives your nervous system a chance to calm down.
Okay, so we have bought ourselves 3 seconds of peace with the echo. We are calm. What happens next?
Next is part 2, the answer. And this is where we throw away the textbook. We are not going to use I am going to, and we are not going to use I will. We are going to use natural present continuous states. We are going to focus on the general vibe of the weekend, not the specific actions.
The vibe, I like that. So instead of saying I'm going to sleep and I'm going to buy milk, what do we say?
We use one of the most common, most natural phrases in the English language. We say, just keeping it low key.
Keeping it low key. I hear native speakers use this phrase constantly. It is everywhere. But I remember when I first heard it, I was so confused. I was looking for a physical key, like a door key.
That is so common. It's a strange idiom if you translate it directly. Keeping it low-key basically means keeping it relaxed, quiet, without any major events and without any stress. It's the opposite of a crazy, wild, high-energy weekend.
Exactly. It's the perfect answer because it's completely neutral. You're telling the person, I do not have a big, exciting story to tell you, and that's on purpose. I'm just relaxing. It manages their expectations perfectly.
And native speakers love this phrase because we love our privacy. We do not always want to tell our coworkers exactly what we are doing. Keeping it low-key is polite, it's friendly, but it keeps your private life private.
So true. It's a cultural shield. You can use it when you're staying home to watch movies, or even if you just don't feel like explaining your complex weekend plans. Just keeping it low-key fits almost every situation.
It's time to practice this out loud. We're going to do our first pause and reply practice right now. I want you to build muscle memory in your mouth, not just in your brain. You can't just listen to this podcast. You have to physically speak.
Exactly. Passive listening is great, but speaking out loud is where the real transformation happens. It's how you beat the freeze.
So here's how this works. I'm going to play the role of the coworker in the elevator. I'm going to ask you about your weekend. After I ask, I will leave a few seconds of silence. In that silence, I want you to say out loud, wherever you are right now, say, just keeping it low key. Don't whisper it in your head. Say it out loud. Ready? Hey, so any big plans for the weekend? Just keeping it low key.
Excellent. How did that feel? Notice how the words flow together. Low key. The stress is on the word low. Keeping it low key.
Let's give you one more natural alternative for the answer. Sometimes you do have a few small things to do, but they're not exciting. For that, we use the phrase catching up on.
Catching up on, like you were behind in a race and you need to run faster to reach the front.
Exactly. Life moves so fast during the week, we fall behind on things. So on the weekend, we catch up. You can say, I'm catching up on some sleep or catching up on some reading. But the absolute best, most natural phrase to use with coworkers is catching up on some errands.
Catching up on some errands. Errands is one of those words that textbooks completely ignore, but native speakers use every single day. Alice, what exactly are errands?
Errands are all the little, boring, necessary tasks you have to do to keep your life running. Going to the grocery store, dropping off a package at the post office, taking your car to the mechanic, picking up dry cleaning, those are all errands.
Exactly. They are chores outside the house. And native speakers love talking about errands because it is a shared human struggle. We all have to do them, and none of us want to. So when you say catching up on some errands, the other person instantly relates to you. They feel a connection.
And notice the grammar we are using here. We are not saying, I will do errands. We're dropping the subject entirely to sound casual. We just say, catching up on some errands. It sounds incredibly natural. It sounds like you have lived in an English-speaking country for 10 years.
I love how simple that is. Catching up on some errands. It rolls right off the tongue.
Let's practice it right now. We're going back to the elevator. I am the coworker. When I ask the question, I want you to answer out loud with catching up on some errands. Here we go. Hey, so any big plans for the weekend? Catching up on some errands.
Perfect. You are doing great. And by the way, if you're enjoying this active out loud practice, make sure you take a quick second to subscribe to Chat English right now. We build these interactive speak-along sessions into every single episode because we know that practicing out loud with us is the fastest way to build your confidence and finally stop freezing in real life.
So true. We want to be your daily conversation partners. Okay, let's review where we are in the framework. We have the echo, to buy time. The weekend? We have the answer, to give a relaxed state of being, just keeping it low-key. Now we need the final piece, which is part 3, the flip.
The flip. This is where I used to mess up all the time. I would give my answer and then I would just stop talking. I would just stare at the person, waiting for them to say something else, and the silence would get so awkward.
That is a very common trap. You feel like you answered the question, so your job is done. But a conversation is like a game of catch. They threw the ball to you, you caught it. Now you have to throw it back. If you just hold the ball, the game is over, and everyone feels uncomfortable.
Exactly. You have to flip the attention back to them. People actually love talking about themselves, or at least they expect the polite return of the question. If you do not flip it, it can accidentally come across as cold or unfriendly, even if you were just feeling shy.
So how do we throw the ball back naturally? To figure this out, we are going to do a best reply quiz. I am going to give you 3 different options for the flip. I want you to listen carefully and decide which one sounds the most natural, the most relaxed, and the most native-like.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's hear the options.
Option A, what are your plans for the weekend? Option B, what about you? Anything fun going on? Option C, where will you go this Saturday and Sunday?
Okay, let's break these down. Option C, where will you go this Saturday and Sunday? Wow, that sounds incredibly intense.
It really does. It sounds like a police interrogation. You're asking for specific locations and specific days. It violates that cultural rule of privacy we talked about earlier. Never use option C for small talk.
What about option A? What are your plans for the weekend? This is the one I used to use all the time. It is grammatically perfect.
It is grammatically perfect, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. People will understand you perfectly, but it's a little bit stiff. It's a little bit formal. It sounds like you're reading from a script in a language school. It lacks warmth.
Which leaves us with option B. What about you? Anything fun going on? This is the absolute winner. This is exactly what you hear at the coffee machine in every office. But why does it work so well?
It works beautifully because of the second half of the phrase. Anything fun going on? This is a soft question. It gives the other person an easy way out. They don't have to give you a schedule. They can say, no, not really, just staying home. Or they can say, actually, yes, I'm going to a concert.
Exactly. It removes all the pressure. You're asking for the vibe of their weekend, just like you gave them the vibe of yours. What about you? Anything fun going on? It's so friendly and light.
Let's put the whole flip together in another practice moment. I'll ask the question, you give me the flip. Try to sound casual, maybe even smile a little bit when you say it. Say, "What about you? Anything fun going on?" Ready? "So I'm just catching up on some errands." "What about you? Anything fun going on?"
Amazing. I can literally hear the conversation flowing naturally now. You have completely taken control of the interaction. You went from freezing in panic to smoothly bouncing the conversation back to them.
Now we are going to do the ultimate test. We are going to put all three parts together, the echo, the answer, and the flip. I want you to hear what this sounds like when it's completely connected. Dan, let's role play this. We're in the elevator, it's Friday.
Okay, I am ready. I have my safety script loaded.
Hey Dan, any big plans for the weekend?
The weekend? Oh, just keeping it low key. Probably catching up on some errands. What about you? Anything fun going on?
Actually, yes. We are taking the kids to the park on Saturday. Should be nice weather for it.
See how easy that was? There was zero panic. There was zero translating in my head. I did not worry about my grammar once. I just ran the framework and we had a completely natural human moment.
And that is the biggest emotional takeaway here. We get so caught up in our heads, worrying about making mistakes, worrying about sounding smart, that we forget the actual purpose of talking to people. You do not need to be perfect to connect with someone. You just need to show up, be present, and throw the ball back.
Exactly. Wow, that is such a powerful shift in mindset. Taking messy action, just speaking out loud using these simple frameworks is so much better than staying silent in your comfort zone. Every time you use this framework, you are proving to your brain that you are safe and that your English is more than good enough.
Your English is absolutely good enough right now, exactly as it is, to have great conversations. You just need the right natural phrases, not more textbook grammar.
To make sure these phrases really stick in your memory, let's transition into our vocabulary breakdown. This is where we clearly define the most important words we use today so you can feel completely confident using them yourself.
Let's do it. Our first phrase is the one we talked about early on, the trap we fall into, the textbook trap.
Trap meaning a situation that tricks you and holds you back. Example, buying things you do not need just because they are on sale is an easy trap to fall into. Or in our case, trying to be too perfect with grammar is a communication trap.
Perfect. Our next phrase is the core of our answer framework, low key.
Low key meaning relaxed, quiet, and without much excitement or stress. Example, we did not have a big party for his birthday, we just kept it low key with a quiet dinner at home.
Our third phrase is another great natural answer, catch up on.
Catch up on meaning to do something that you have not had time to do recently so that you are no longer behind. Example, I've been traveling for work all week, so I need to catch up on my emails this weekend.
And our final word, which pairs perfectly with catching up on, is errands.
Errands meaning short trips you take to do necessary tasks, usually outside the house. Example, I cannot meet you for lunch today because I have to run some errands, like going to the bank and picking up groceries.
Notice that collocation there. Native speakers usually say, run errands. I need to run some errands, or I'm running errands today. It's a fantastic phrase to use.
These words are pure gold for everyday conversation. Keep using them. Practice saying them out loud in your car or while you're cooking. The more you physically say them, the faster they will become a natural reflex for you.
All right, that is a wrap for today's episode. But before you go, we have a challenge for you. We want you to take action right now, go down to the comments, and practice with us. What are your actual plans for this weekend? Using the phrase keeping it low key or catching up on. Type it out, build that confidence.
Exactly. Write it down and take that messy action today. We read every single comment and we love seeing your progress. And your progress does not end here. To continue advancing your conversational skills and building your natural reflexes, click on the next video we have thoughtfully selected for you on the screen right now.
Keep moving forward, keep speaking out loud, and don't let the fear of making a mistake keep you silent. We'll see you next time on Chat English.